But sometimes
You're dead.
destiny screws up.
We can't put you back into your original body. We'll simply have to find another suitable body.
Now,
I'm not cut out for being a woman!
Ever wonder what it would be like if you were sent to heaven only to be thrown back to earth as a girl? Hey sissies, welcome to...
Excuse me, miss, who are you?
I'm your hostess with the mostest, Professor Courtney. As I was saying before I was really interrupted, welcome to a new segment in TG Land called TGU's TG Cinema 101, featuring reviews of gender transformation or cross-dressing movies.
There must be some mistake. I'm Professor Kevin St. Clare, and I have occupied his lecture hall all semester teaching introduction film studies.
This university has always prided itself on diversity. The new program and admin sent me here. I'm confident you and the students here will find great pleasure in learning the craft of feminization in these films. Why don't you just let me lead the class today, and you can share your opinions too as a co-host for now.
You know what? As a longtime film scholar and TG ally, I look forward to examining the intricacies of all these films. Carry on.
Interesting. For the first review in this long series, we are going back to the roots. Ice Angel from the year 2000. You can thank this movie for introducing me to TG Land. When this film first came out, I was a young teen who just received internet access at the house. I looked for information about this movie via search engine and found a web ring of TG transformation sites, including captions and TG stories. The release of this video in March 2025 coincides with the 25th anniversary of the debut airing of this quirky TG movie on the Fox Family Channel. This made-for-TV movie about a male hockey player who returns to Earth as a female figure skater is loosely based on the 1941 film Here Comes Mr. Jordan, which in itself is based on a 1938 play called Heaven Can Wait.
You know, Heaven Can Wait was also made into a 1978 film with Warren Beatty about a quarterback who is reincarnated as a millionaire. So I'm curious to see how this movie compares. Both the Beatty film and Here Comes Mr. Jordan are very good movies.
Ice Angel, not to be confused with Ice Princess, is also known as On Thin Ice, Going for the Gold, not to be confused with On Thin Ice or Go Figure. This movie was difficult to find for many years. It is not available on streaming, and a DVD was only pressed in Australia. I attempted to buy a copy recently, but has some issues.
I collect DVDs. I understand weird releases, but it's a shame it's not widely available, so I can see it in a good bit rate.
Luckily, Ice Angel was uploaded to YouTube by users LibsRoman and sgilman16, and on Dailymotion by RyerWade6408. Sabian International presents 360p movie quality. We meet again.
My eyes, the goggles do nothing. Not even basic VHS quality.
This definitely looked better watching it 25 years ago on a 19-inch TV from Walmart. Nicole Tom. At this time, she was best there for her roles on The Nanny and in the Beethoven movies. Tara Lipinski, the famous figure skater? You know you're in for a treat when the two female leads have top billing, but there's a male character sharing first. Nancy Kerrigan, another famous figure skater. Please don't say Tanya Harding's in this.
I think she was too busy with her boxing career at this point.
Alan Thicke from Growing Pains. This is an all-star cast here. Also, this pro just got out of bed fresh as a daisy at 5:03 a.m. Not groggy, not gonna shake hands with the milkman. What's wrong with this dude?
I'll tell you, morning people are an oppressive class.
This editing is something else. So I guess throw all your ingredients to a blender and don't turn it on. It's raw. Camera does the immune positions from the shot of him eating breakfast. Then he just grabs hockey gear.
You know, editing is one of the most important aspects of film studies, and knowing where and what to cut is the sign of a well-made film. This sequence does not bode well.
What the flip was the purpose of that entire scene? Why couldn't they just start the movie from the rink?
I think the only real purpose was to have something to roll the credits over rather than a black screen.
Why not just show more footage of hockey like this? Our main character here is a bro named Matt Clark, played by Aaron Solmensky. His first acting credit was being the baby Clark Kent in the 1978 film Superman. Thomas Calabro from Melrose Place plays Ray, his bestie.
Well, how do I look?
Like a madam?
IMDb has Thomas Calabro listed as being born in 1959, which means he was about 40 years old when this film was shot. Great way to blend in with the youngins. I love how they're obviously men in their 20s or older, talking like 14-year-olds here.
Because we're going to the Olympics, bud. The both of us, man. That's our destiny. Picture it. Matt Clark and Ray Rosovich, the dynamic duo, the backbone to the U.S. Olympic Dream Team.
You know what? I'm with you on that one, bro.
Yeah?
Oogie, oogie, oogie! Oi, oi, oi!
USA playing Czech, and scoreboard is only 3-1. Matt comes in exhibiting toxic masculinity.
What the heck is wrong with you guys? You're playing like a bunch of pansies.
Next foreshadowing by calling the girls as well.
Come on, girls, we're better than this, all right?
Ah, the language you could get away with in the early 2000s. Thanks goodness we moved past that now. Right?
At least no one calls each other gay. Yet, back to the game. Matt's suburban white fiancé, Danny, yells from the stands,
I need to talk to you!
"Bitch, can this wait? I have a game to win here." Unfortunately, that conversation doesn't take place as Matt takes a hockey puck to the... hold on, I gotta put this in slow motion. Apparently, that was enough to kill somebody. But is that realistic?
You know, even that dude, Clint Malerchuk, who got his throat cut on the ice, by a skate, he lived. And wow, are we just jumping right into the plot? Wow. I guess that means there won't be any wasted scenes later in the movie, right?
Meanwhile, in heaven, Matt meets Peter, played by Alec Willows, who informs him that he's dead.
You must, give me some pretty heavy-duty painkillers, huh?
I'm not a doctor, Matthew. And this is not a hospital.
Oh, so you mean that, well, what you're telling me is that this here is that I'm,
That's right. You're dead.
Wait, his first guess is that he's in the hospital, and then his second is that he's dead? You're jumping over several very real possibilities here.
Gotta love these 2000s special effects as he tries walking out the door.
What would have happened if he fell out the door? Would he fall forever or to hell or what?
He explains that he is at a transition station. I see what they did there.
Let me explain. At the moment, you're at a transition station.
a transition station. What's up with that? I mean, you guys can't decide where to put me yet? Am I one of those borderline cases?
Something like that.
We know that God, in all his divine wisdom, is incapable of making mistakes.
It's early 2000s family-friendly values, of course.
Humans, on the other hand, are of the mortal realm. They are relatively frail, cannot move through time or change the course of destiny. And then we have angels.
He calls for Alan, who is sharing with a confused look a white girl with late 90s butterfly clips in this bitch's hair. Matt is introduced to Alan, played by Brendan Beiser.
I didn't do it on purpose. I swear, it was an accident. Really.
What the heck's he babbling about?
Alan is responsible for you being here, which ordinarily would be the case, as every mortal soul requires a heavenly escort. Unfortunately, this is not an ordinary case. You're not supposed to be here yet.
Alan was at the hockey game, supposed to take the hot dog eating fan to heaven after a heart attack or choke, and I don't know how that guy's best to die here. Maybe this is some type of weird commentary on American culture. This film came out before Super Size Me. My fat ass was at McDonald's at least twice a week back then. But Alan's angel wing hit the puck. I guess this is where that special effects budget went.
You know, that this version of the afterlife makes no sense. God can't make mistakes, but angels can. And God and the people this affects just have to abide by these mistakes? Kind of seems like an incompetent bureaucracy, or God has no real power to change anything.
You know, I'm almost wondering if they've meant to put more religious aspects in this film, because this film also came out, I think, 3 years before Bruce Almighty. It kind of have to say vibes going on here with this heaven scene. Do you get that?
A little bit, yeah. Although Bruce Almighty's better film.
You know, I saw that in theaters and I did I enjoy it. Matt complains that he's stuck in limbo.
We can't put you back into your original body. It's been 4 days. You've been pronounced dead, cremated, and buried on national television.
Well, then how the heck are you gonna send me back?
Why did they wait 4 days? If the angel could collect another soul, couldn't they have just dropped Mac back into his body? Like, what happened to the hot dog guy?
Still alive and chowing down food at games. They must find another suitable body. He wants to know whose body he will be placed into, but Alan won't give him a name.
Before you go screwing up my life again, you mind telling me whose body you're stuffing me into?
Look, I'm sorry, I can't give you any names, but I can tell you this person's been clinically dead for 2 days.
The body's being kept alive on life support. Oh, no, you don't.
Important plot point.
Your big dream in life was to win a gold medal out on the ice, right?
Darn right. As an American, not as a European, and sure as heck not as some lousy Czech.
I promise it'll be as an American. You'll be in great shape with years of skating experience already under your belt.
Before he goes, there's 2 important rules.
First, you should never reveal yourself to anyone as Matt Clark, right? He no longer exists. Second, and this is the most important rule, okay? You must never seek out any friends or loved ones from your past life.
What?
However, this seems to be a mistake because obviously some characters here are going to know that Clark existed. Even here, surely is going to see proof of his death.
This movie has some really weird logic. Like, I get the whole don't reveal your past self thing, but why threaten to erase his memory? It's as if they manslaughtered Matt and now they're extorting him? And what would he act like if he forgot his personality? Would he just reset to the personality of the body he was inhabiting? Would it be as though he had total amnesia forever?
Transition to a hand glowing in a hospital bed. Tara Lipinski, playing the character of Tracy Hannibal, calls in a nurse who says,
It's a miracle.
This is maybe a reference to the Miracle on Ice 1980 Winter Olympics when the U.S. team won.
Do you believe in miracles?
How was that, Phil? Because I never saw that Disney picture.
It's not very good. And by the way, they didn't actually win the gold. They won the silver medal. They beat Russia to get to the finals, and then they lost in the finals to Canada.
Oh, they make it, the advertising made it seem like they're gonna win all out stuff. That's the last thing I remember seeing that trailer for that film back in the day.
Yeah, no, it's just we beat Russia, and that was the miracle on ice.
The victim is groggy. The person in the asks what happened to them. Tracy says they hit their head skating. They want a mirror, and great news, Matt, you're down, girl.
Wait, she didn't realize she might be a girl when she woke up, had hair in her face, had a pretty feminine voice, and didn't feel her boy parts? Like, I think I noticed if they were gone.
And have your breasts on your chest. That's the weight difference there. Everyone needs to test their hand at something. Hey, I wonder what happened to this girl at the transfer station. I guess the OG Sarah is an angel now. And didn't she have a different hairstyle at the transfer station?
Did a bell ring?
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
For those of you younger sissies, when shows or movies faded to black and came back, that was called a commercial break. Sarah gets out of the hospital bed and walks around screaming for Alan. Her parents come in and she starts assaulting hospital staff. Amnesia is blamed for her behavior. Sarah's parents are played by Gwyneth Walsh and Andrew Johnston. Walsh plays several moms like Mrs. Forster in the 1993 thriller The Crush, and Ashrit Kaur on Xenon, a girl of the 21st century. Johnston was also in Xenon and had notable credits including several roles on The X-Files. Sarah asks how she ended up like this when we get an exposition of,
How did I hit my head playing hockey? Hockey? Who said anything about hockey? Ice skating, Sarah. You're a figure skater. Ranked #1 in the country. Look, you might as well read it for yourself.
She's handed a magazine showcasing Princess Sarah. Looks pretty feminine here. Both her and Tracy were practicing for the Olympics when she hit her head practicing a triple axel. Sarah is manspreading as the doctor goes over brain scans, saying everything looks normal.
I gotta say, manspreading looks good on her.
The doctor says memory could return later slowly, or maybe all at once. In the magazine, she sees evidence of Matt's funeral.
I like that they also basically say that she's a lesbian now after seeing her ex-girlfriend's picture and the thing, because you can't really stake this bet on television because of Squawk's family in 2000.
Oh, this film has some undertones, and Sarah was curious the inspiration behind this film. Unfortunately, I digged digged everywhere I could find online resources, search engines, archive sites, etc. Could not find one actor, actress in this film who made commentary in an interview about it, even at the time of the release.
Personally, if I wouldn't think I would have been ashamed to have been in this book lead, but I get it.
Huh. What else was airing on the Fox Family channel that year?
3, 2, 1. We'll be right back with more Fox Family Countdown.
Au revoir, Angela Anaconda, which is French for go home.
Call 1-800-PIN-DROP and switch to Sprint 1000.
Go on a 10-hour tour around the world with Mary Kate and Ashley.
That's us.
Stay cool. We're back to the show on Fox Family.
Flashback scene to when Matt met Danny. Sarah is still having issues with Alan. Makes threats, and then Alan appears in an IV. More great 2000s effects.
First you wrongly end my life, and then you dump me into the body of some chick figure skater? What are you thinking?
I'm sorry, but it was the best I could do under the circumstances. I mean, you insisted on winning a gold medal out on the ice.
An out-of-body experience happens, and Matt jumps out.
Forget hockey. How did you come up with the part about bringing me back as a female?
Just being creative. You know, that's the trouble with people these days. Nobody appreciates creativity anymore.
He also looks annoyed by it. Is he angry that God isn't making more TG content?
You know, with the smile he had on his face in most of these early scenes, I wouldn't be surprised. Like, he seems to be enjoying this forced stabilization, basically, of throwing this guy into a young girl's body.
Yeah, exactly.
Matt is dead set on contacting people from the past, but Ellen reminds him of the rules.
Wait a minute, you said there was some way around the rules. You know, like some sort of a loophole?
Okay. Truth is, if they find you, that's still within the rules. But you just can't go looking for them. No postcards, phone calls, emails, or instant messages. Only if they bump into you, by chance, as a natural part of their own human destiny, then, all bets are off.
You know, the other thing that gets me is he says this is her destiny? I thought this was just a random screw-up. Is he trying to make destiny happen?
I must say, Vic, that this is not the first time he's had it. He acts like it is, but it's obviously not. He's definitely throwing some boy back into a girl's body while they're in that limbo transfer state. Alan recommends she adjust to her new life first.
If you want to make something of yourself, you should first accept your destiny and then let go of the past.
And this girl doesn't even know how to put him in his skirt all. Like, how difficult is that? One piece of clothing.
How am I supposed to go on embracing my life as a chick when I don't even know how to put on a miniskirt?
Sarah bitches more, saying she's not cut out to be a woman.
No, I can't do this! This is crazy! I'm not cut out for being a woman!
I remember this directly from the promo video, as it was a line making me know this was going to be a TG film to never miss. The nurse sees this and blames it on PMS.
Why, just last week, I ate a 2-pound box of chocolates and screamed at the patio furniture for 3 hours straight.
This nurse's reaction is super weird. Fish, he's screaming at the patio furniture for 3 hours because she had PMS. I know people who deal with PMS, and I also know some people who deal with some mental health issues, and PMS does not cause psychosis.
That's because this is obviously written by some man who's never had a menstrual cycle, never proofread by any female, and one of the actresses probably noticed this line is clearly the one who delivered it, and just didn't want to argue with her, said, I'm going to get my paycheck and get the fuck out of here. Sarah's tried to get changed to come out of the hospital, and she complains about wearing a dress. Now, Professor, what'd you think of this dress?
Oh, pretty. And
Okay, something you would wear?
Huh? Me? No, and I know I'd mean something a little more. Anyway, nothing. They're right.
I'll take look at. She keeps on abusing this hospital staff. She even steals a cigar out of the doctor's jacket. And I really wasn't in hospitals a lot back then, but I'm pretty sure that smoking was banned and people were giving out tobacco products at the hospital while there's like a newborn baby. Back at home, she immediately tries to call Danielle, but is reminded by Ellen to stop.
Remember what I said.
Why she break these rules so quickly? Not even trying to adapt to life as a girl. She's eating junk food and manspreading, watching sports on TV, and even smoking in the house. She wakes her parents up by yelling at trash in this living room, and at least this Sports Illustrated I found from back then mentioned this too. The next day, her parents are concerned about her mental health. Yeah, no shit, Sherlock. While upstairs, she attempts to get changed like a girl and properly groomed. Bitch, you have short hair. This should not be that hard. I can only assume this was done for comedic effect. No guy I know forced to be a girl would up and pick up that much stuff of the same product it was. Like, this girl has, like, all these lipsticks. The first steps of being a woman and going to the figure skating practice isn't to put on comfortable sneakers or bad lace slips. It's to wear heels. This scene does include Sarah at least trying to put on her bra. We should have got more of that in this movie. And not just letting girls loose all day. For more comedy factor, she puts on a dress backwards. That's just stupid. I mean, it can happen with some asymmetrical clothing, but like this is just to show this person's there about how to dress on when literally she was had her dress on in the last scene.
It doesn't even seem like she has any form of dysphoria or body dysmorphia. It just seems like she's a tomboy now. Also a lesbian, but that's beside the point.
What's a few of lesbians? It seems like you're an expert here on gender studies, dysphoria, gender confusion. Is there something you're not telling us, Professor St. Clair?
Hey, the next scene.
Sarah attempts to drive her dad, only to find out she doesn't have a driver's license. I guess this would be a reminder of age regression.
See, I didn't pick up that it was age regression, really. I mean, they're appointing adults who don't have driver's license. I mean, is her age ever really stated?
It was a side of freedom back in high school. Were you from a small town?
No.
Okay, I can tell. Because as soon as everybody turned 16 in my town, back in the good old country mountains in the Appalachia, they weren't in the drive. It was your sign of freedom. Her age is never stated, but considering she is under parental guidance, I can only assume late teens. School wasn't mentioned, only figure skating. Nicole Tom was 21 when this movie came out, about turned 22, and Tara Lipinski was 17. Let's just assume the character of Sarah is 18, which brings us to our next scene. While in the car, her dad decides it's a great idea to have a serious conversation.
I mean, every day if you think that'll make you feel better.
Every day? Right on. Now you're talking my language.
Maybe not every day, but I think once or twice a week would make a good start.
Wow. Dad, I never figured you to be so liberal about having sex.
Well, you know. Sex! I was talking about counseling.
Maybe this is why this film isn't on Disney+. And this scene could have been cut entirely. Well, what's the purpose of the scene?
And I still thought it was a funny scene, if a bit predictable. But yeah, my only question is, how would the father react if he found out his little girl likes girls?
Another topic for another day. And why is canceling even up for debate? This bitch was just under parental guidance, just suffered a near-death experience, and is having obvious hallucinations. Like, why even ask her if she's ready to go to counseling? Why just say you go to counseling?
Yeah, I also think this is kind of screwed up on Heaven's part. Like, their daughter is dead and in heaven, and now there's someone else unknown to them in the body having to pretend to be her so they don't have to mourn her death. It's really kind of cruel, and not just to the new Sarah, but to her parents as well. Even if you scratch the surface of the smoothie, it's actually pretty disturbing.
Now this chick just had a near-death experience and is acting abnormal, and is already sent back to figure skating practice for the Olympics. Like, no time off. I guess we're on a time schedule here. We can't wait another 4 years for the Olympics to come around. At practice, she meets up with Tracy and asks her name again. Apparently these girls are not BFFs, and instead are in competition. At the rink, Alan Thicke, playing the character of Coach Parker, is giving the girls instruction.
A little late, were we last night? Bed checks from now on.
Most people remember Alan Thicke from playing the dad on the 80s sitcom Growing Pains. Sarah comes out in all this macho hockey gear, and we meet Nancy Kerrigan and the others who make fun of her looks as well. We get an explanation here as she suffered from amnesia and no physical injuries to herself. She starts having some weird fantasies of hockey on the rink.
That Clark is a punk. He's in a suspect. He causes the blue line. It's just him and the boy now. He makes his shoots. He scores!
Well, congratulations. I'm sure that's exactly what the judges will be looking for in the long program. Come on, we got Olympics 6 months from now.
She is asked to do a skating routine and instantly falls on her ass and dead names herself.
Matt, give me a break.
But it's only 4 years from now, the next Olympics.
Oh, please. Who asks your advice anyway, don't it, boy? You really think I care about any of this?
Forget it. I don't want to get into it with you. I'm here to train champions, not to babysit.
Coach Parker has no time to argue with this bitch. Now she wants to practice and get this together. I guess no option when you're stuck as a chick. Where she is spectating at this point, she is invited to the locker room with the other girls, but says she's going to keep on practicing. A Pee Wee Hockey League shows up as she convinces the coach to let her take over and meets a kid with the same name as her dead name.
What's your name?
Matthew.
Oh, Matthew. It's a good name, buddy. Listen, Matt.
Not Matt, Matthew. Dad says Matt's something you wipe your feet on.
Insert another flashback scene, making her realize she has a destiny.
I think it's really interesting that he has no dysphoria or dysmorphia.
I just love how this adult coach just lets this one girl just take over hockey practice. Like, what the hell? Do whatever you want. Yeah, as a teenage girl, you're not going to get your way unless you're with your Peters. Like, adults aren't going to listen to you that much. Back at home, Sarah explores her trophy collection and medals in the living room and has a conversation with her mom, asking if she has any friends, because obviously none of these girls back there at figure skating practice were her two friends.
There's Coach Parker, and there's your cousin Pat, and Aunt Jamie, and well, you always have your father and me. Now, this was your first national competition. Oh, I just love that competition. I love that costume. We have all of your competitions on tape. We tape them. Wouldn't you like to see some of them?
Which brings back memories of her destiny with this terrible song playing.
That was beautiful.
She realizes that the estrogen's taken over her body. I guess that's what happens when you don't have a dick. She starts to question her gender transition, and Sarah wants to stop. Can't come to terms with the fact that she's turning into a woman.
I actually really don't like this scene because it implies that crying is inherently feminine.
There's nothing wrong with crying. It's all just part of being a girl.
Supposedly estrogen can help with the ability to cry, but strong men also cry. Strong men also cry.
Boys don't cry. Wait, that movie came out just a year prior. At night, she reads about Ray in a magazine, realizing the hockey team is going to the Olympics, and realizes that if she goes to the Olympics too, they will all be in the same place at the same time, finding the loophole in the rules that Alan gave her.
I get why this scene is here. It raises the stakes. It gives her more reason to go to the Olympics. But she already has that reason. Her entire point of coming back was so she could win a gold medal. Did she not realize before this that her team was going to the Olympics? She felt leaving there.
I almost want to believe that this is almost here to make us think that Matt was kind of selfish, because he may have thought they're not going to the Olympics because he's gone now.
Yeah, maybe, but they never like give the impression that he's like, oh, I'm the only one who leads this team. I'm the boss of this. You know, he's there to give talks, and he's clearly a star player, but like he never seems like I'm the only reason this team's a success. Then again, we don't have that one scene with him at the beginning, and then that's really it.
Both Sarah and the dude from Melrose Place are getting prepared in the morning with their egg OJ drinks. At the rig, she is pumped and ready to put the effort into becoming a sissy skater. Coach Parker recognizes her effort. Tara Lipinski and Nancy Kerrigan give her some encouragement.
It'll all come back to you.
Yeah, but we'll come back in time for the big O.
Double entendre. The figure skaters fight a street hockey team full of bros out here. An argument erupts, and they somehow find helmet, safety gear, and other equipment to show up the boys and play a game. Just out of nowhere, they're getting all this equipment together. A happening crossover scenes that we need to put the re-emphasis on the fact that she used to be a hockey player. Like, I feel like this is almost mentioned in almost every scene in this film. That has been established this entire film so far. Although I do love these dated as fuck water angles going on here. And we steer away a black guy in the movie.
Also, while it takes a minute for them to get going, it's hard for me to believe that they would make a really great showing. I mean, absolutely, they're better skaters, but rollerblading and ice skating are two different beasts entirely. And while Sarah as Matt was a professional, The other girls have never played hockey before. It seems kind of implausible, but there's so many other things about this movie and its bizarre choices that it does make this seem weirdly logical by its, by everything being so far.
And it's important to note here that this was not written by a TJ fiction author, because if a TJ fiction author wrote this, they would have absolutely had those boys on figure skating rink out in a bunch of outfits with them rather than the girls trying to do something masculine. It seems like they always want to put women in something masculine in this film, except for Nancy Carrick and Taylor Pesky's characters, basically. I mean, Sarah's acted bush this whole fucking movie, and our other female character is really submissive almost, with her mom, which isn't playing a major role in this film, but she's, oh yeah, my daughter's not going to counseling. Just let everything be. I'm just going to play There's the Past. I have an important role in this. After the improv game, Kirst Parker is pissed as she's called to the office. I can't help but also mention how these guys just up and played a street hockey game match in the parking lot that's being used. I mean, there's cars in this parking lot. So I used to play street hockey a little bit as a kid, and we would always find an empty parking lot so that way you'd not hit the puck or the subway's window and get into trouble, get property damage. Great way to get skating banned for everyone, assholes. This is why skateboarding is like banned everywhere too. In the coach's office, she claims it was cross-training. And how is this coach so pissed off? Oh, it's about the protection of women. He has second doubts about her being ready for the Olympics. Her skills and attitude are apparently not Olympic material. Skills have improved, but the triple was her ticket. And she can't even do that now. She gets the balls to stand up to him and says she will go to the Olympics. She asks for 1 more week to get all her shit together, and all these years of training will come back together.
And this is by far the most unlikable Alan Thicke movie I've seen.
Apparently you haven't seen That's My Boy from 2012, have you?
And I don't want to. Also, he doesn't really look like he's doing much coaching. He just seems like he's in the background. I get there's a need for a coach character, but couldn't we have given him an arc or given the Alan Thicke a better role? Like maybe he could have been the dad or Alan the Angel. Alan Thicke, Alan the Angel. Yeah.
I do love that aspect. That would have been great to have Alan Thicke playing the dad or the angel in this film. And I would also, again, love to find an interview from one of these actors, especially Alan Thicke or Nicole Tom, talking about this film back then, but there doesn't seem to be any information. The only thing I can find from the year 2000 that Alan Thicke talked about was the Growing Pains movie. If anybody comes across any research in your homework, let me know. Now, I needed to mention this also. It seems that Alan Thicke was taking a bit of a recess that year. So I'm almost worried he just came in a lunch break to do this role, or just wanted like an extra paycheck for vacation somewhere, maybe in her home. Back at the house, since we need an establishing shot every time you're here, she looks at her trophies once again to gain inspiration.
All right, Sarah Bryan. You put a lot of work into getting this far. I know what it's like to be cut short of an Olympic dream. I promise, I won't let you down on yours.
Sarah asks Alan for advice once again. This guy hasn't shown back up since that creepy-ass bed scene where he's all above her bed. Tracy is called, and these girls apparently just get access to this rink out of nowhere. Sarah's wearing a skating skirt now, so she must have felt the need to get a little more femme.
Well, I guess now that she's cried, she's really a woman now, because apparently that's how this movie thinks. She also might be wearing a skirt because she knows that she has to wear something similar to skate in at the Olympics.
Tracy admits that they've been stiff competitors for years.
Over and over, I prayed that you get a brain aneurysm or a kidney failure or anything that I had a chance at winning. And then that day when you hit your head on the ice and went into a coma, I freaked out. I felt like I did this to myself.
Both agree to let go of the past and work together. Tracy mentions that the triple axel has been landed by very few people, including Sarah, the first being in real life over a decade earlier by Midori Ito. Another montage of her learning to skate again ensues. She spends the next week completely devoted to the craft with another crappy alternative rock song playing.
Hey, that was a great job. All right,
Back at the house establishing shop, Sarah has some other things she needs to improve on. This was the moment we've all been waiting for. Some more feminization. Plenty of missed opportunities for her to change the locker room with the other girls, but again, this was on Fox Family at the time. But now she's going to get changed and feminized and forced to try on several dresses and tops, along with some makeup, such as lipsticks, having her eyelashes curled. And, hey, what's that over there? Wait, the scene's over already? What about curling your hair, stuffing your bra, putting a tampon in? Has she even shaved her legs since then? I mean, it's been weeks right now, correct? That lame-ass hockey match lasted longer than this. It makes me wonder, who was this film for? Skaters in general or gender transformation fans?
You know, I know a lot of sports movies have montages, and really should, and I love the soapy montage style, but, I mean, this seems like a lot of montages. A second sports montage that goes into a feminization montage, and I agree, this girly montage should have happened earlier. You know, I wonder how I would react to such a makeover.
Professor St. Clair, perhaps in the next class, you should dress up, just as one of the lead female characters in the film.
But that is not like me at all. Not very professional. Not like you can force me to do it.
You know, for me kind of bombarding and taking over your class, you seem to know a lot about this movie.
I watch a lot of movies.
Fall turns into winter, as we are now at the Olympics. So Sarah has spent 6 months living as a woman, still hasn't put a tampon in her body. She's been completely over her male life and has been presenting as a female goddess on the ice now, right? I had to shave legs at some point. It wasn't any time to teach that one of these montage scenes. And the 2000 Winter Olympics didn't happen. It was Summer Olympics that year. The next Winter Olympics would have happened in 2002. So is this movie taking place in 1998 or 2002? The line's a little blur there because no one's using like a lot of technology in this film. You don't see a computer really.
It would have been interesting to see like one of those Tangerine Dream IMAX or whatever in this movie. It's still amazing to me how quickly she's taken to being a woman. Granted, we don't see her putting in a tampon or anything, but she's wearing femme clothes and makeup on a pretty regular basis. I know she has to keep up appearances, but there's still no dysphoria. Maybe Matt wasn't just as we're led to believe.
I suppose she didn't grow her hair out over the past 6 months either.
Who would you say has been the biggest influence on you in your skating career?
That's a good question. I'd have to say,
Bobby Hall. Did you say Bobby Hall?
Trying to blow her cover already here at the Olympics. Tracy's standing right next to her. And I told her to skate again, you bitch. I mean, even in a world where Tara Lipinski exists, she could have been a BFF and said the character's name. But maybe not best is to say the competitor's name, even though she's like right there and obviously supporting her. A little kid asks for Sarah's autograph, and she signs it, Matt Clark. Seriously, girl, you've been living 6 months in a female body, living as a woman, and you're still identifying as Matt. Did that just break the role of revealing self?
Yeah, I didn't get why Ellen would even allow her to meet her old team or girlfriend. I guess she's found the loophole to be in the same place, but the rule of her revealing her identity is still a memory wipe. So why would either of them allow this?
So many plot holes. While walking around, she sees her old hockey pal with an interviewer asking about Matt. Sees Danny behind her who's pregnant, and emotions fly everywhere. Wait, hold up. That tummy looks pretty big. Did she fuck this guy like 4 to 6 months ago? She goes to her hotel room upset, wondering why her best friend had sex with her girl. Alan shows up, wondering why she is upset.
Oh, it's you. What do you want?
What do you mean, what do I want? You made the Olympics, Sarah. You got what you wanted after all. You should be happy.
Big deal.
Ah, gee. And here you were doing so good in your new life. I thought you were letting go of the past pretty well, too.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, me too. That was a lie. You act like your male self here. You just signed your name as your middle name. You didn't let go of anything. And as much as this film loves montages, why did we not get one montage about what had happened in this last 6 months? I mean, has Alan not showed up in the last 6 months?
We're talking about the two people that I love most in the entire world. Now I'm not sure if it ever meant anything or if it was all just a lie.
Well, why don't you talk to them about it? You're free to do that now, you know? You managed to skirt the rules pretty well.
Yeah. Lucky me.
You know, sometimes the best way to let go of the past is to confront it head on. This might be your last chance to set the record straight. Good luck, Sarah.
He keeps calling her Sarah, not using her dead name at all. Now at the front desk, Sarah goes down here asking for Ray's room. It's a little bit fishy here. You got a young woman asking for the room before you're a guy.
Yeah, that's not great.
Danielle answers the door, and Sarah's recognized as the figure skater Sarah Bryan. She's invited in when they have a chat about their personal life.
Is there some sort of problem?
Well, you guys moved awfully fast, don't you think?
What's going on here?
I mean, you couldn't have even waited a month?
Matt, calm down.
Matt? How'd you know?
That's the baby's name. The doctor just told me 2 weeks ago that he's a boy.
And you named him Matt? What are you thinking? Have you no compassion?
What's wrong with Matt, for goodness sakes? It was his father's name.
So that was what she wanted to tell him during the game at the beginning? Like that was the important conversation? Sarah starts crying and realizes she's stuck as a chick. People have moved on. Ray has been her friend and willing to be the baby daddy by supporting.
Yeah, I wouldn't call him Matt. You know, Matthew's better. Matt's something you wipe your feet on.
I guess you've got a point there. Okay. Matthew it is.
Weird that she also basically agrees to change the baby's name from Matt to Matthew based on a 2-minute interaction with a stranger. And for the dumb reason of that's a thing you stand on. It just seems very silly.
From the thing that she heard from a 9-year-old boy that she literally just met back on the rink earlier.
Yeah.
She's invited to the hockey game that night, and the USA team is down.
Like ever since the tragic loss of Captain Matt Clark, this team just cannot put it together.
You mind holding my place for me, Danny girl? I gotta take care of something.
Danny girl? Where did you hear that? Only one person has ever called me that.
Look, I gotta go.
Ow, easy there, Matthew. Matthew?
She figures this out way too easily. Like, if someone I knew died and then another person of a different age and gender called me by a nickname, my first thought wouldn't be that they are the reincarnated version of that person.
Earlier, Sarah was asking for the rib of Ray. She obviously has some type of relationship with these people. So, in an alternate version of the story, did Matt know the actual real Sarah and was having some type of relationship with her?
See, that would have been a better, like a more logical thing to work out.
Yeah, that's what happens when you have Courtney writing that. And we'll get to that at the end of this class. Sarah goes to the boys to have a pep talk in the locker room, getting past all forms of security here. Her cover was further blown. And again, why do grown men put up with this shit?
Protect each other, fight for each other. Dan, you come all this way just to get the bronze? You worked too hard to let it go.
All right, honey. It's enough. You're coming with us now.
Hey, come on,
Wait a second.
hurry.
Got the puck. He speeds across the center. Oh, look, he's in. Oh, here he comes. It's just this. Ray Rossovich, the dynamic duo. The back of the U.S. Olympic trio. Oogie, oogie, oogie.
Oi, oi, oi.
And it seems like Ray kind of knows that his best friend is now a chick.
Her best friend also figured this out way too easily. One of my college chants was something very similar, like not the same, but really, really similar. So if somebody did that, like I wouldn't automatically think they are my reincarnated friend.
There's less than 10 minutes of this film left and have to wrap this up quickly. That's probably why they did it. The team spirit is back and these guys are ready to kick some ass. Back on the ice, USA makes a comeback. Sarah's banned for the building and finds a random hotel room with a bunch of people watching the ice hockey game. Yeah, more hockey fans. USA wins.
USA. USA. USA.
A picture of Matt is brought onto the ice.
The Americans have one more gold medal to win. This one's for Sarah.
But with only 8 minutes left in this film, is Danny Girl going to talk to Sarah again? Like, that was kind of an important plot point there with Danny realizing that Sarah is her ex-boyfriend who she now carried the baby of. Like, what, you want to talk to her again? And try to get one explanation there?
You would think so, but we've had so many montages that's the thing we need to have at the time of the movie, not actual heartfelt, moments.
Tara Lipinski's character is up first, and I doubt they use the stunt double here. They have a good luck talk before she is given a note by Ray with a gold medal in a cigar box.
You know, I hate to keep harping on these plot holes, and I know her mind will be wiped, so why did they give her an extra gold medal? And if so, like, how do they do that? Is her buddy getting her his medal? If she loses her memories of being a Matt, won't she wonder why she has some random hockey player's medal? Does she even need one? She says she's about to win one?
That's a very good point, actually. The sick bitch in he thinks that maybe she thought she partied too hard one night and had a good time with a hockey player who gave her maybe a souvenir from the Olympics. But, like, it's the Olympics. I doubt it would party hard to hook it up with guys. It's just going to give you, like, something to remember them by.
Well, I'll tell you that, I mean, if there is a thing about the Olympics and people hook them up at the Olympics, you like, those athletes go hard. And I don't just mean on the ice. There was, like, a thing at the Olympics a couple of years ago where they said they had to ship 100,000 condoms or something.
Be patient, we're almost at the climax here. During the beginning of her ring entrance, all supporters, parents, and people in her past life are in attendance, knowing what is up. It's a packed house here.
Okay, Alan. I'm ready to let go now.
Peter appears, joining their routine next to Alan.
Wants a chance at the gold medal.
You know, after this performance, Sarah will no longer have any memory of being Matt.
One more note about this scene, the line about her losing her memory is clearly not said by the actors on screen and is ADR'd. So it wasn't in the original shop. So why include it? What does this mean? And wow, is this bad ADR? You could clearly tell they did not record this in the same place or in the same environment.
Yes, I noticed that. And now that I think about it, maybe they realized in post-production that this movie had a lot of plot holes and just needed to ask something for a safe measure. Now, yeah, that doesn't sound like it was like from the audience. It's just like talking.
Yeah, it just sounds like he's the all authority. It sounds like it of what a narrator would say.
And wouldn't before the performance be the best time for Sarah to lose memory? Because if she lost memory of that, wouldn't all her experience with figure skating come back at that point? Because again, what you mentioned before, when this memory loss happens, is she reverting back to OG Sarah with no memory? Because they say the way he words it is no memory of being Matt, which means all male life just completely gone. So there goes the baby. But now we have two people from Matt's life who remember her as him, basically. There's now a newborn child coming in the picture here, who at this point in time is of hockey playing age. So again, here's your perfect time for either a remake or a sequel that could have Matthew, the baby Matthew now grown up to be his father's footstep. So there's a lot of things that could have been answered here.
What if baby Matthew grew up to be trans and, hey, has her parents' friend, Aunt Sarah, who's a real father, help with that transition into being a female figure skater?
I guess that is where all memory of being male is lost. Everyone's happy. The end.
I don't know if everybody is happy. Obviously not happy that she lost her memory. What does this mean? How does this work? Will her friends remember? What does this do to her personality? Was this a last-minute addition because of the bad ADR? Was there network pressure to have her be basically cis by the end of the movie? What about when this Sarah dies? What does her afterlife look like? Will her soul still look like Matt, or did her soul change to look like Sarah? Is this for Matthew? Aren't they removing any sense of self by taking this away? Does Sarah know her memory will be wiped at the end? What does our future look like? This movie asks so many questions that it does not answer, and I'm very frustrated with it.
The biggest question I have, again, is who is this movie for? It technically aired on a family channel, yet the gender change is a large part of the plot. So this is for anyone who likes ice sports, or for gender transformation fans, maybe both. The comments on YouTube seem that way. One thing most can agree on is that the memory loss makes no sense. Sarah's acting like a man the entire film up until the memory loss. There's no massive gender shift other than the physical aspect. Take the memory loss out of plot completely. It wouldn't matter. It originally would have been an incentive for her not to want to contact people from her old life. Instead, there's a loophole that's now thrown out the window now that she revealed herself as Matt Clark, rule number 1. Although it wasn't said outright, strongly hinted at, and both Danny and Ray knew. So Matt got fucked over twice in this film by a wrongful death and memory loss. Now what about the original Sarah? She may be an ice angel now, but what about when the new Sarah dies? Is there 2 ice angels in heaven? What happened to Matt's whole body from the hospital scene? That scene in the hospital was the only scene in the movie where OG Matt comes out of Sarah's body.
This movie definitely asks more questions than it answers. It's weird. I saw it as a kid and I remember really liking it. I mean, really liking it for some reason.
Well, that was Ice Angel, a somewhat obscure piece of TG media, but an important one. Again, if it weren't for this film, I may not have discovered TG land as soon as I did. Before there was a ton of TG content on the web, it was full of very obscure and long-forgotten sites. This will be the first of many more film reviews to come in this class, each with a ranking system at the end. Rather than using stars, thumbs, or any other type of metric, let's just talk about the transformation level in this academic series of TG cinema. The transformation scenes in Ice Angel are light. We get no body morphing or physical transformation scene. It's basically proof you're a girl. Matt is transported into Sarah's body.
Which I can so would buy, but it's strangely not as satisfying.
We also get a comical scene of getting ready, including putting on a bra. A transformation scene of emotions during the videotape scene. A very short scene of Tracy talking Sarah into wearing a dress and putting makeup on.
A montage that should have been more complex where Sarah confronts her gender dysphoria and or dysmorphia. I just hope I don't die before the next lecture and get put into a body of a woman. That would suck, right? Well, until next time, I'm Dr. Kevin St. Clair inviting you back for more TG at the movies.
And just remember, the next time you're thrown into the body of a woman and get age regressed, do more with your time than keeping up your meal habits until your memory is wiped clean. See you next class for our next review. Class dismissed.